Part 83. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 821. Chapter 821 Look Down On. Zhang Xiaoxiao followed Hao's Higang and looked around. I really bought a lot of things. Having bought most of the medicinal materials on the prescription, the only thing missing was the tall and elegant snow lotus. As for Hao's Higang, he could only ask for it in a store, but it was expensive. One plant probably costs 10,000. Hao's Higang himself comes from a family of ancient doctors, so how could he not understand the market? They have bought Wanyan snow lotus before. The price of 10,000 yuan was last year's price. Hao's Higang didn't even know how much it cost this year. Grandma-in-law said that in the future, the Hao family will not be able to afford the raw materials if Zuyan Dan is not born. One 10,000-year-old snow lotus can crush their house. The Hao family has already sunk into the sky now. 10,000? I really can't take it out. Zhang Xiaoxiao was speechless. My dear, a 10,000-year-old snow lotus costs 10,000 yuan. With the money in my pocket, I can't even buy a few medicinal materials. This is still an ordinary Zhuanyan Dan. If the medicinal materials for the Huishan Dan are used, wouldn't they be sky high? My thoughts are too simple. When will the medicinal materials be worth 100 or 80,000? Zhang Xiaoxiao himself felt like crying but had no tears left. What a magical place this is. Almost the most luxurious place in the world. What can Zhang Xiaoxiao do? The salesperson in the store looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao's embarrassed expression and Hao's Higang's expression of despair, and immediately showed a look of contempt. Poor ghost. Happily, he closed the lid of the snow lotus box in his hand and said, "Do you want to buy it? If not, don't waste your time here. It's really a waste of my time." Hunted coldly and prepared to put away the box. Zhang Xiaoxiao, it's grandma's fault. It's been a long time since no one has looked down on her. Why do you keep wandering back now? When you come to this hellish place, you become a little minion in the dust. A little shop assistant dares to look down on him, he is so angry. A man in a suit came out. "Xiao Yu, what are you doing? What's your attitude? How can you show your face to the guests?" His tone is gentle but stern, and Li immediately knows that he has a high status here. The clerk immediately forced a smile and said, "Manager Lu, you misunderstood. It wasn't me showing off, but that woman. She obviously didn't have money to buy 10,000 years snow lotus, but she still pretended to buy it, which made me show it to her. Long time. Look at her, look left and right, ask carefully, I explained it very clearly, but if you don't want to buy it, don't come in if you can't afford it. I'm not happy because I'm worried about the loss of the efficacy of snow lotus, not because bad attitude." Hao's Higang had a look of hatred on his face. Grandma's confusing right and wrong. This woman seemed to hate the poor and love the rich just now, but when she turned around, she actually became the store owner being bullied by them. What did you say, who can't afford it? I never felt this angry when the Hao family was at its peak. I have bought snow lotus countless times. Although it was all for running errands for my grandma, who dares to say that the efficacy of snow lotus has been lost. Now it's really like a tiger falling down and being bullied by a dog. A small shop assistant dares to say hurtful words. The clerk's eyes widened when he saw Hao's Higang's attitude. "Manager Lu, do you understand now? I'm really not looking for trouble. This man is so fierce and evil, and he clearly has a guilty conscience. What is your name? Are you loud because you are right? This is you, can you afford it? It's not that I can't afford it, I'm telling the truth." The clerk was a bit insulting, because his words attracted a crowd of people to watch. "Oh, Hao's Higang, you are so poor that you only have the little door curtain on Yaoshin Street, but you still dare to come here and buy 10,000 years of snow lotus, no wonder this little girl doesn't want to see you, A person is valuable because he knows himself. Can the Howe family still afford it? What a liar! Is your Howe family's beauty pill going to be out of print? A short, fat man with a fat head and big ears came out, with a bag slung under his arm and a bold look on his face. He looked like he knew Hao's Higang. The pregnant woman was already 10 months pregnant and her pregnancy was ripe. Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't hold back her laughter. Not only was she buying a 1,000-year-old snow lotus, but she was also buying a storm. Howe family? Manager Lu asked meaningfully, does he know the Howe family? Who doesn't know that the Howe family who offended Dr. Zhang Shaija was exterminated by the Zhang family? The Howe family has long been wiped out by everyone in the city. Originally, the Howe family was considered a third-rate family, but now it does not exist at all. Is this a descendant of the Howe family? No wonder I want to buy 10,000 years snow lotus. Fat Zhang, stop making sarcastic comments here. What does it have to do with you? Hao's Higang was so angry that now everyone can step on them. But everyone can tolerate it, but Fatty Zhang can't. Fatty Zhang is Zhang Shaija's lackey. It was Zhang Shaija who fell in love with his cousin and pursued her to no avail, so he resorted to cruel means and forced the Howe family to be destroyed. The reason why I am in such a state of decline now is not because of the Zhang family. Haha, Hao's Higang, if you are ambitious, why don't you buy it? 10,000 years of snow lotus. When your Howe family was at its peak, you sold 100 of them. At that time, your Howe family's beauty pill attracted many people. What happened now? Can't even afford one? When the clerk saw that someone had the same opinion as him, he immediately put on the face of a late-night lady. Even some people don't look at whether they have that ability. If you have money to buy it, I will pay for it myself today and sell it to you at a 50% discount. For 5,000 yuan, Wanyan Snow Lotus sold for cabbage price. Do you have the money? Swipe card, cash. This is insulting. Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyes lit up. 5,000, half the price at once. This is pie in the sky. How dare you, a little shop assistant, to talk so boldly and boast that it's 50% off? You're bullying us for being ignorant? Once we say we want to buy it, I'm afraid this person will deny it right away. Besides, if you say you can't get the money, we can't do anything to you. Who is the one who doesn't have the money to go big? Zhang Xiaoxiao deliberately fanned the flames, looking like a man who wanted to save face and suffer the consequences despite having no money. Fatty Zhang smiled and said, "Little girl, where did you come from? You must have never seen the world. This kid Hao's Higang is really capable. He can still catch such a thing without money. The women around him are smarter than the last. But this experience is really not that good. Do you underestimate these clerks and think they are waiters? That clerk is not a small fortune, he doesn't have a deposit of 12,000 or 20,000 yuan. Do you think these pharmacies can use him? With a flick of your hand, you can spend thousands of yuan in medicinal herbs, all of which come with a deposit." The clerk looked down upon Zhang Xiaoxiao and Hao's Higang even more, with their nostrils turned upward. "Got it? I'm not afraid to tell you the truth. I paid a deposit of 10,000 yuan. If I dare to say it, I dare to agree. Manager Lu, you heard it? If this lady really spends the money to buy 10,000 years snow lotus, I will give you a 50% discount. Sell it to her. I'll make up the rest of the price difference." This is because Zhang Xiaoxiao and the others are definitely not able to come up with so much money. The clerk dared to be so arrogant, naturally because neither Zhang Xiaoxiao nor Hao's Higang looked like a rich man. Outside, tens of thousands is something that ordinary people dare not even think about. Even here, ordinary people can't get it. What's more, the Hao family has already finished playing, that is an indisputable fact. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 822. Chapter 822 Enter Password. House Higang did not argue. I really don't have money and I really can't afford it. Even if I am angry, I just don't have the ability to fight back. A man is poor but his ambition is short, while a horse is skinny and has long hair. I deserve to be laughed at. Fatty Zhang smiled proudly. Hey, House Higang, you are really not a man. Even a clerk can sit on your neck and shit. Why are you still alive and wasting food? If I were you, I would have bought a piece of tofu. Dead. The provincial ones brought disgrace to the old Hao family. House Higang's eyes were red and he wanted to bite the fat man in front of him to death. Brother Fatty, if you can spare others and spare them, why bother killing them all? Fatty Zhang smiled maliciously and came to Zhang Xiao. Sister, you are good looking. What future is there for following a poor guy like House Higang? It's better to follow my brother. I guarantee that you will be well liked and drink spicy food. This is intentional, just to embarrass House Higang. Are you sure he can't afford it? What if he can? Zhang Xiao raised his chin. House Higang had been bullied to this extent. This fat man was the fat man that day. House Higang could really endure it? He could still endure being cuckolded. But she couldn't bear it? Fatty looked at Zhang Xiaoxiu's smooth chin and fair skin, and was stunned for a moment. So beautiful. How can they still have such a temperamental and beautiful woman in this poor place? Still interested in House Higang? I am blind. But then he explained excitedly, he can't afford it? If House Higang can afford to buy a 10,000 years snow lotus today, how about I, Fatty Zhang, give him 10 for free? 10 plants are worth 100,000, so for free, maybe the Hao family can turn around. Who doesn't know that the Hao family just doesn't have the money to buy 10,000 years snow lotus, so the 10th level beauty pill is out of the question. Now that they have 10,000 years snow lotus, it's a good opportunity for the Hao family to make a comeback. House Higang lowered his head. He really couldn't afford it. Even if he borrowed money just to save face, he couldn't afford it. Zhang Xiaoxiao was shocked, and he still didn't know much about the so-called ancient medical world. Physicians in ancient times were so awesome. Are elixirs divided into levels? Her concept of drugs is divided into content and efficacy. What is the concept of God at level 10 now? Zuyan Dan can't be refined by the old lady of the Hao family. Do you think you misunderstood? Can you do it? Zhang Xiaoxiu's heart skipped a beat, just for 10,000-year-old snow lotus plants. Money is not the most important thing, but 10,000-year-old snow lotus plants can be used to refine a lot of beauty pills, right? I also need money. Prodigal money is not Zhang Xiaoxiu's ability. I am a good woman who is diligent and thrifty. Fatty Zhang held his head high and held his chest high. Being asked such a question by a beautiful woman, it was okay even if it was not possible. Everyone is a witness. This card. Snap out a black card. The people around were in an uproar. This is the famous black diamond card. It is said that the minimum limit is 500,000. It's so rich. How can Zhang Xiaoji's younger brother have no money? Did you see it? As long as House Higang can afford to buy one 10,000 years snow lotus today, no matter what the price, I will keep my word and do what I say. I will immediately spend money to buy 10,000 years snow lotus and give it to him for free. Fatty Zhang looked proud, and House Higang looked secretly resentful. Grandma's money is so great. This is a slap in the face from Chi Kuakuo. He wanted to cry but couldn't afford it. I really want a card to fall from the sky right now, so that I can exchange my shotgun for a cannon, and show my majesty to Fatty Zhang what a counterattack is. Pity. I can only think about it. Suddenly someone raised his hand. Yes. A hand is raised. Zhang Xiaoxiao raised House Higang's hand. My eldest nephew is buying a 10,000 years snow lotus. My eldest nephew, Let's fight for our reputation even if we don't make steamed buns. Buy it? Everyone was in an uproar. There was a good show to watch, and many people gathered around. Fatty Zhang's face was stiff. Wasn't this just Hao Zhigang deliberately going against him? The clerk didn't believe it at all, he was just pretending to be a poor man. Sir, if that's the case, would you like to pay by card or cash? Don't worry. I will keep my word and keep my word. For 5,000 yuan, I will never charge you a penny more. A mocking tone. Looking at Hao Zhigang coldly, his face turned red. He was so poor and miserable. He couldn't get off the stage. Hao Zhigang, Fan Xiao is not putting himself on the line. This time I am very embarrassed and embarrassed. I can't buy it. Before he could say anything, Zhang Xiaoxiao slapped his hand on the table. Swipe your card. Zhang Xiaoxiao took his hand away. Hao Zhigang's palms hurt. What card should he use? I only have 500 in my bank card, and I still swipe it. He raised his hand and was about to rub his palm when he saw a card exposed under his palm. Yellow, ordinary bank card. My heart felt warm. I knew it must have been taken out by Fan Xiao just now. He wanted to save face for himself. It's a pity that this is 10,000 yuan. Even if it is 50% off, it still costs 5,000 yuan. Fan Xiao does not look like a rich man. The person who is waiting for his great-grandmother to repay his kindness may be a rich man. The person who lives in Kaiyufeng may be a rich man, and his surname, Hao Zhigang, was changed to yours. I was about to say not to buy it. The clerk has reluctantly picked up the card. It is an ordinary bank card. Most people have such a bank card. It is nothing special. It seems like this gentleman is really rich. Let's swipe it, see if we can get 5,000 yuan. Hao Zhigang was not given a chance to get his bank card back. Just to show everyone how embarrassing Hao Zhigang is. Hao Zhigang said hurriedly, don't brush. If you don't have money, why should you use it? Eldest nephew, you are too low-key. You said that the money in that card was just for buying 10,000 years Snow Lotus. Now you have met so many enthusiastic people who will give you a 50% discount and give you a 10,000 years Snow Lotus. Give away 10 plants. You can't chill so many people's hearts. Brush, don't listen to him, you have to brush even if you are trying to sell iron. Aren't you an enthusiastic eldest sister? The clerk's face turned dark, this girl has such a bad mouth. Then don't blame yourself for not showing mercy to them. Okay, I am an enthusiastic person who will definitely help, 50% off. 5,000, take a look. Others chuckled. No one could figure out what was going on. Hao Zhigang was so anxious that his face was as red as a monkey's butt. That's urgent. No hurries. It's not that I have no money. If you don't have money, you don't have money. I hate people who pretend to be pretentious even if they don't have money. That's right, if you don't have money, you still pretend to be a big-tailed wolf. Shame on you. Fatty Zhang said on a whim, swipe. 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 I like to swipe my card the most. Dip. A sound. The card machine beeped. Everyone stared at the clerk. Did the brushing succeed? After all, not everyone wants to add insult to injury, and some people hope that things will be reversed. Hao Zhigang doesn't look like a bad person at all. There are also people who sympathize. The clerk curled his lips, unable to hide his proud expression. Password required, please enter your password. I don't have much money, and I still need a password. Are you worried about remembering it? Zhang Xiaoxiao took the initiative to take it and enter the password. Eldest nephew, my aunt will do the work for you. We are a family, and what's yours is mine. The following sentence did not say that what is mine is yours. End of this chapter. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Lucky Bag is Reborn with Space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 823. Chapter 823 Prodigal. Hao's Higang whispered to Zhang Xiaoxiao, "What do you want to do? Let's go back. We can basically buy what you want. I beg you, please don't embarrass me here, okay?" He felt that Zhang Xiaoxiao was his nemesis. "Look at yourself, this time you are finished. This matter will be treated as a joke throughout life, and I will be laughed at until death. This shame will be carried in the coffin. Zhang Xiaoxiao is not him. Regardless of whether he achieves his goal or not, Zhang Xiaoxiao will leave here in the future, but he has to survive here for the rest of his life. You don't want to turn over, hit them hard in the face." Jiang's small voice is so calm that people suddenly feel at ease. Hao's Higang sighed, "Who doesn't want to? I am a man and have been ridiculed to this point. If I don't want to, I am not a human being. But thinking and doing it are two different things." Dip. The voice sounded again. Everyone curiously asked, "Didn't it finish?" After all, this is the voice of most people. Manager Lu was also curious. Seeing the clerk's face suddenly turn pale, he took the card machine over. The brush was successful. Then there was a harsh sound, and the printing paper came out. The voucher indicating the successful credit card swiping was torn off by Manager Lu and handed to Hao's Higang respectfully. "Sir, please sign your consumption of 5,000 has been successful. Congratulations on getting a 10,000 years snow lotus." Everyone was in an uproar. Fatty Zhang trembled. "What? Swipe the card successfully?" The black card in his hand was gently pulled away by Zhang Xiaoxiao. "Mr. Zhang, I really want to thank you for taking such good care of my useless nephew, 10,000-year-old snow lotus trees. I really appreciate your generosity." Zhang Xiaoxiao handed the card to Manager Lu. Manager Lu smiled from ear to ear. 10 plants are 100,000. In the blink of an eye, 100,000 yuan was earned. There is such an easy business. Don't think that those who open herbal medicine shops earn a fortune every day. This kind of 10,000-year-old snow lotus costs 10,000 yuan. This kind of business is not often encountered. There are very few people who need to buy this medicinal material. Even though their entire city relies on medicine for a living, every medicinal material naturally has its market. The effect of 10,000-year-old snow lotus is that it is worth 10,000 yuan. The problem is not that everyone flocks to it. If you can sell 8 out of 10 plants in a year, it is considered a very good business. Now I have been in business for a year in less than half an hour. This business is worth it. Manager Liu's movements were swift and neat. Swipe your card to sign an order in one go. Fatty Zhang almost cried when he signed the list. His eyes were bright in front of so many people, and for the sake of face, he couldn't even tremble. Can't show even the slightest bit of distress on his face, pretending to be nonchalant. Isn't it just 10,000-year-old snow lotuses? I can afford them. The phone rings. Zhang Xiaoxiao watched in astonishment as this man took out a brick from his pocket. Right. This is the latest version of Big Brother. The latest mobile phones today. Hello. Fatty Zhang saw it was his eldest brother's phone number. There was a hint of flattery in his voice. There is nothing we can do, the eldest brother is the person in power, the head of the Zhang family. He is at most a follower. What are you doing? Why did you spend 100,000 yuan? I tell you Zhang Daniu, don't go too far. Play with a woman today, chase a little star tomorrow, spend money like water. Thousands of dollars are thrown away, and I don't want to go too far. Don't say anything, now you can spend 100,000 to get it out. Let me tell you, you must pay me back this money, otherwise I want you to look good. Do you think that our Zhang family's money is so easy to earn? Zhang Shaoji's voice came through the microphone, which suddenly caused laughter from the people around him. Brother, no, that's it, listen to my explanation. As soon as Manager Lu heard this, he stepped back warily. Refund the money. Looking ugly, thinking beautiful. They have rules here. Goods sold will not be returned. This is a medicinal material. It is also the regulations of the Medicine God Association. They are law-abiding traders. Legal business operations. You come back quickly, I want to see you for 100,000 tonight. After Zhang Shaoji shouted loudly, he hung up the phone. Fatty Zhang looked embarrassed. This was embarrassing. Look back. In an instant, 10 meters cleared in front of him. Manager Lu, the clerk, walked away neatly. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Hao Zhigang were carrying 11 boxes. Happily ready to go out, Zhang Xiaoxiao wondered if he could start making the beauty pill when he got back. We can build it? Other medicinal materials don't cost much. Zhang Xiaoxiao is already eager to go back and start working. She wants to enter the field of traditional Chinese medicine. We can't be considered to be experts in Chinese and Western medicine, but she was also an expert in her previous life. Later, integrated Chinese and Western medicine treatments became popular, and she also studied them. Not a layman. At this time, the two of them had a clear understanding of each other and could run away faster than anyone else. Fatty Zhang came to his senses and was gone. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Hao Zhigang rode their scooters and ran into the wind. Hao Zhigang felt so comfortable in his heart. This feels so good. Relieve anger and relieve hatred. Arrive home. Zhang Xiaoxiao got into the small house. This home is so big. There was no other way, so she could only do research on her desk. Alchemy. Excuse me, we just use a gas stove and a big iron pot. According to precise portions, Zhang Xiaoxiao cooked the first pot of Zuyan Dan. The old lady watched the whole process, and the corners of her mouth twitched. What does it mean for a skilled person to be bold? This girl has the guts to put 10,000 medicinal ingredients into the pot like this. There was absolutely no intention of asking her, the old-timer, for advice. Seeing this girl turn on the fire and start humming, the old lady sighed in her heart. 10,000 yuan was gone. But that's right, there's no point asking for advice, you can't say it yourself. This is the Hao family's secret recipe. You can't eat it inside or outside. By the time the ingredients in the fifth pot were completely turned into a pot of black coals, the old lady no longer wanted to say anything, she didn't even want to look, out of sight out of mind. She would have been better off just sitting there and doing her own thing. If she continued to look like this, she felt that she would have a heart attack. The old lady wants to live a few more years. The old lady fell asleep long ago in the middle of the night. Seeing Zhang Xiaoxiao wasting so much on things, the old lady couldn't stand it anymore, so she symbolically drew a few circles on the prescription. That's all she can do. Too much is not enough. The old lady's dreams were all about Zhang Xiao's small frying pan and the blackened medicinal residue. There is also a medicinal fragrance. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the product of the eighth pot, and a pot of elixirs came out. This is the only successful pot. 20 grains, but it doesn't seem very bright at first glance. Some are yellow, black, and green. It doesn't look pleasing to the eye no matter what. Zhang Xiaoxiao sighed, if this continues, it will be completely over. I have made tens of thousands of medicinal materials in one night. Thanks to the fat man who took advantage of me today, otherwise I would be heartbroken over the tens of thousands of medicinal materials. At this rate, let alone getting close to the Medicine God Association, I would have no choice but to go home in despair. Zhang Xiaoxiao was depressed. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 824. Chapter 824 Supergrade. Zhang Xiaoxiao stood in front of the pot. The last pot, and the previous 10 pots, from the 8th pot, we finally see the finished product. However, Zhang Xiaoxiao knew from looking at the finished product that it was probably the lowest grade. Zhang Xiaoxiao was also worried, would his last pot be wasted like this? Continue to produce things that you don't even like. Suddenly remembered peach juice. An idea struck. How about giving it a try? Zhang Xiaoxiao took out the peach juice and poured a drop into it. Then 10 minutes later, the old lady suddenly jumped up from the bed. Because she was too impatient, there were all kinds of stars in front of her eyes. Hao's Higang had a slipper on one foot was bare, and his hair was as twisted as a nest of weeds. He just rushed like that. Come over. Grandparents and grandson looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao blankly. Zhang Xiaoxiao looked at the small pills still floating around on the plate. Finally showing a satisfied smile. This time it finally looks like something. Smooth and round, with a fragrant fragrance, and most importantly, the color is dark. The color looks pretty good, at least it's not as colorful as the dishes on the side. I can't even put it down. I don't know what level this is. How geometric is the effect? Then before Zhang Xiaoxiao had time to see clearly, he stretched out his hand and took one directly away. Throw it into your mouth, chew it and eat it. Grandma, don't eat it. Who knows if there are any side effects? Refining alchemy was something she had never done in her entire life. It was the first time she had done such a thing, and she felt uneasy. Who knows what effect this medicine has? Zhang Xiaoxiao is a doctor, so he naturally knows that any medicine will have side effects. Although I made it strictly according to this recipe, no one knows what the consequences will be after adding peach juice. Is it good or bad? The old lady just threw it into her mouth before she even had time to test it herself. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't even finish his words. Super quality beauty pill. The old lady closed her eyes, carefully thought about it, and tasted it slowly. The aftertaste is long, with a delicate fragrance, and there is a faint sweetness. I can't tell what it is. The medicinal effect is soft, good. It's really good. After so many years. Our Hao family has not seen Kaopan resident for a long time. Yan Dan. Hao's Higang's eyes gleamed, staring at the plate in Zhang Xiaoxiao's hand like a wolf looking at meat. There are 19 identical super-grade beauty pills inside. Grandma can't lie to others. Their family started their business by relying on Zuyan Dan. Their family's ancestors also had great success. It is said that during their peak period, their super-grade Zuyan Dan could make people rejuvenate. An old lady in her 70s or 80s can be as young and beautiful as a woman in her 20s or 30s. Looking at the old lady carefully. The old lady is already quite powerful. Although she is over 80 years old, she still has the appearance of a woman in her 40s or 50s. This is already a unique kind of wealth, because of the effect of their Zuyan Dan. Because as time goes by, even the great-grandmother will no longer be able to practice the super-grade beauty pill. It is said that the super-grade Zuyan Dan requires snow lotus that is more than 100,000 years old. Snow lotus that is more than 100,000 years old has almost disappeared in this world. Who can wait 100,000 years? In the past, the beauty pill could change a person's appearance. The biggest effect of the super beauty pill was not to rejuvenate a person. Even at the highest level, if the streets were full of old monsters who looked like children, then the world would be too scary. The biggest effect of Zuyan Dan is that it can change the flaws in people's appearance. Some congenital diseases can be changed with the help of Zuyan Dan, such as vitiligo, and some birth defects of the face, such as the lip deformity of Huzi who was operated by Zhang Xiaoxiao. It can achieve twice the result with half the effort. This is also the biggest effect of Zuyan Dan. People flock to it, not just for beauty. Seriously speaking, this is medicine and not a magic elixir. Who can guarantee that after taking it, people can really rejuvenate themselves? Of course, ensuring a youthful appearance is really a major effect of the beauty pill. I heard that if capable wealthy people take Zuyandan for a long time, their white hair will gradually turn black, the wrinkles at the corners of their eyes will gradually smooth out, and people in their 70s and 80s will maintain their appearance in their 30s. This is already an incredible ability. Compared to those women who go for cosmetic surgery for nothing, this medicine has basically no side effects and is very effective. Of course, the price is not cheap. Who can afford it for a long time? Only those who are rich can do it. Girl, what did you add to this medicine? The old lady has spent all her energy on the Zuyandan. She has refined this elixir tens of thousands of times. How could she not taste the faint fragrance in this elixir? However, this fragrance seems to have it smells like fruit. It seems to taste like peach, but I can't tell clearly. But I understand very well that this girl definitely added something to this elixir. I really can't tell what it is specifically. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled, Grandma, I have never been able to refine this elixir well. I added a little bit of our family's ancestral secret recipe into it. I just wanted to give it a try. Anyway, even if I can't make it in the last pot, let it be bad, just treat it as an experiment. I didn't expect it to be like this. You can tell by the look in the old lady's eyes that the last pot of elixir with peach juice should be an excellent product. I have never heard of this super product, but you can guess it from the name. It should be far more than a level 10 elixir, otherwise it would be a shame for this name. The only thing that makes me happy is that it seems that on the way to elixir, although she is not amazingly talented. I spent the whole night refining the elixirs last night, and what I came up with were the kind of pills that I can't stand even looking at. But this golden finger still helped me improve in this regard. The only thing that makes me excited is that if I come into contact with the so-called rejuvenation pill, I can use peach juice to complement each other and refine it into a real rejuvenation pill. Let Song Moding wake up, this is her biggest purpose and wish. Other elixirs have nothing to do with Zhang Xiaoxiao, and she has no plans to become a master in the world of ancient medicine. Besides, refining elixirs doesn't seem to be her specialty. Talent is not very reliable. There are too many differences between Western medicine and Chinese medicine. Is not the same thing. When the old lady heard this, she was discouraged and kept silent. Since it is a family secret recipe, it is not easy for her to ask this question. I am willing to come up with this secret recipe because of the right time and place. I have to come up with it. Of course, it is not because I want to repay others' kindness. Zuyan pill is now useless to the Hao family. For example, last night, their family could no longer afford the 11,000-year-old snow lotuses. The decline of the Hao family has become an indisputable fact. It would be a bit shameless if I wanted to get the family's secret recipe from the little girl now. She is not that kind of person, and she doesn't bother to be that kind of person. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 825. Chapter 825 Cooperation. Hao's Higang knelt down. Right. Kneel upright facing Zhang Xiaoxiao. Zhang Xiaoxiao jumped. What is this for? My eldest nephew, if you have something to say, why do you always kneel down? Isn't this ancient times? Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyes twitched, what's wrong with this man? Hao's Higang stubbornly refused to get up. The old lady glanced at her great-grandson and probably understood what he wanted to do. He let out a long sigh, stopped talking, and found a chair. The old lady sat there steadily, without interfering in anything. Zhang Xiaoxiao saw that she couldn't pull him up, so she had to loosen her hands and stand aside. She can't bear this kneeling, and she doesn't want to shorten her life. Auntie, please accept me as your disciple. Hao's Higang's words made Zhang Xiaoxiao burst into laughter. There is no way not to be happy. Zhang Xiaoxiao deeply doubted herself, but she just tore through time and space and arrived at a city she had never explored. Unexpectedly, this strange city gave her the feeling that it was like a fairy tale in a later novel. I relied on peach juice to practice elixirs. To put it bluntly, there was no real material. Just like this, there are still people crying and shouting to come up and become disciples. Even if she is a genius, she probably won't be able to teach him anything. How's Higang, you better hurry up and let's talk. I definitely can't accept a disciple. Cooperation is okay. You and your great-grandmother should know in your heart that I am a second-handed sword, and I just started to learn how to refine elixirs last night. Would you like to learn from me? What can be learned? It was just a coincidence that I fused the elixir from my own ancestral secret recipe with your family's elixir. This was purely an accident. How's Higang thought the same thing and became dizzy himself. Why didn't you think about it? This girl didn't know how to make elixirs before. I haven't seen this guy who made the elixir. In their house, they just use local materials. He originally felt sorry for those 10,000 years Snow Lotus and didn't want the other party to waste it like this, but this was money someone else spent and they got it based on their ability. Why did he have any reason to stop it? So out of sight, out of mind, I went to bed early. Who would have thought that he would be able to fry the pot at the beginning, and then gradually take shape later? It doesn't taste very good. He fell asleep in the first half of the night surrounded by various burnt and strange smells. The reason why he was not smoked to death is really thanks to the fact that my great-grandmother trained me in alchemy since I was a child, and I have also experienced this process. The nose has long been immunized by itself. However, no matter how genius you are, you can't become a real super-grade elixir all of a sudden. Which pharmacist hasn't spent decades of training and slowly mastered the skill of fire, but who would have thought that this girl could really do it in one night? Make a pot of super-quality beauty-preserving elixir. Although there are many uncertainties and surprises in this super-grade elixir, I have never done it in my life. People saw that this girl who was younger than herself actually did it. It seems that grandma-in-law was right when she asked her to call her aunt, and it was more than enough for her to be her elder based on her abilities. How's Higang stood up immediately. In this era, who would still kneel down when they have nothing to do? That was not to show my respect. I want to be someone's apprentice and learn how to refine super-grade elixirs. If I don't show any sincerity and respect my teacher, who would want to accept him as my apprentice? But since it is cooperation now and everyone is on an equal footing, there is no need to kneel down. With piercing eyes, he said, "Auntie, how can we cooperate?" This time, my aunt screamed with great willingness, even with a lot of respect in it. Just because this girl can make a super-grade elixir after just one night of hard work, this ability is probably unique to the ancient medical community in the West City, and I'm afraid it's not easy for the Medicine God Association to find one. It doesn't matter whether it was a coincidence or an accident. This is called ability. I want to join the Medicine God Association and become a pharmacist and doctor of the Medicine God Association. Of course, joining will definitely take up the quota of your good How family. Of course, I know that doctors from outside are not qualified to join the Medicine God Association. And the price is naturally that I will help you refine the beauty pill. If nothing else goes wrong, we will provide you with 2,000 Zuyan pills and 200 super-grade Zuyan pills every month. You will be responsible for the purchase of medicines and the sales of Zuyan pills, and I will be responsible for the refining. We will split the final profit 50/50ths. How's Higang's face darkened. This girl really dared to think that she would take advantage of everything. The Hao family did all the dirty work. Although they had the secret recipe, he didn't have the ability to practice the super-grade beauty pill. I didn't hear this girl say that this super-grade Zuyan Dan contains their family's ancestral secret recipe. They have the core secret recipe, and they can only do some legwork, and in the end everyone gets all the profits. Moreover, the place in the Medicine God Association has to be given to this girl, so she will lose whatever she wants. Auntie, I think your ancestor's surname must not be Fan, but Joe. Do you think I'm Joe baby? Zhang Xiaoxiao was happy. No matter how excited Hao Zhigang was, he was not immediately overwhelmed by such a good thing that fell from the sky. If he could still rationally fight for his own interests at this moment, it is conceivable that this guy still has something to gain. Long. Look at the procurement of medicines. You know that the price of each 10,000 years snow lotus plant in the refining Zuyuan alone is 500,000, plus other medicinal materials. How much does it cost? And we are also responsible for sales. The cost of these manpower and material resources is much higher than yours, and we also bear risks. You only need to come back and practice for a while at night. I can't guarantee that everything will be done in 10 days and a half. But you get half of the profit for free. That doesn't mean we will work for you. Furthermore, the qualification for the Medicine God Association's examination is not something that just anyone can get. Our Hao family only has this qualification based on hundreds of years of inheritance. You can't just talk about it, the quota will be given to you, and you will get the profit. We will do all the hard work and money. This is not appropriate either. Hao Zhigang felt that Zhang Xiaoxiao must have been a profiteer in the past. What a thief! Zhang Xiaoxiao originally thought about asking for a high price and paying back the money on the ground. He knew that his request was unreasonable, but he did it deliberately so that Hao Zhigang would not feel that he could fool him at will. The two people must form a pattern from the beginning of cooperation, so that Hao Zhigang knows in his mind that he is not a person who is easy to fool. In this way, crises will be less likely to occur in future cooperation. Zhang Xiaoxiao's current cooperation with the Hao family is actually for the Hao family's quota. Otherwise, there is no need to help the Hao family refine this beauty elixir. She is not doing it for money. But this is also a concept that quickly formed in my mind after thinking about it again and again. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew clearly who knew how much the medicine needed for the recovery pill would cost. I have never seen such a small beauty elixir. A 10,000 years snow lotus cost 500,000 yuan. In this era, even if it is more than 90 years ago, it is still 500,000. How many people have gone bankrupt and still can't get it out? Even if 10,000 families are bundled together, they may not be able to come up with this amount of money. But the price of a single herb here is just random. She was going to ask number 9 later to see if it was possible to find the snow lotus outside, or if it was cheaper. But cooperation is naturally imperative. I also need the Hao family. Don't limit your vision to the present. You must know that I can refine the beauty pill today, and maybe I can refine other super quality elixirs tomorrow. As long as I join the Medicine God Association, I will have access to many prescriptions. Then one day the Hao family may sell more than Zuyuan Dan, and then the Hao family will rise again. It is only a matter of time. The big brother-in-law here needs to think clearly about the benefits here. I don't feel bad about taking the money, and you don't give much. Leaving the Hao family, all I need to do is shout out, and there should be a lot of people willing to cooperate with me. Maybe the profits will be even more generous. Unless, Hao Zhigang, you are planning to kill me and silence me, but in that case, the Hao family will be of no benefit, and Hao Zhigang, you can only continue to be a low-level reptile for the rest of your life. Being laughed at. Zhang Xiaoxiao thought of all that. Hao Zhigang was so angry that his teeth itched. This woman has such a poisonous mouth. He wants to consider killing people and silencing them. The old lady slapped the table and said, "Our Hao family agrees." The old lady is still shrewd. Let yourself breathe a sigh of relief. The thing is done. Lao Song is waiting for me to come back. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 826. Chapter 826 Auction House. Hao Ji had just finished taking a shower and shaved the thatch-like beard on his face. Looking at himself in the mirror, Hao Zhigang felt refreshed. Their family needs to turn over. What he plans to do today is to take the Zuyan pills that Zhang Xiaoxiao refined last night to a special auction house and sell them. Why not sell it in their shop? If you think about it, you will know that their house is as big as a palm. It is not popular at all, and rich people do not come here to buy elixirs. Can't sell it. The purpose of selling it in the auction house is to get money immediately, and then buy a decent facade in a good location and with a lot of traffic, and decorate it carefully. This is a good place for rich people. Only with this appearance can it attract serious people who want to buy things. At that time, the Hao family's official turnaround will begin when it is officially opened for business. At that time, I will put the super-grade beauty pill and other beauty pills inside. When my aunt goes to the Medicine God Association, there will be other super-quality elixirs. What will happen? Hao Zhigang was very ambitious. He felt that there was no telling how many branches they would be able to open by then. Those rich people like this kind of thing the most, especially those rich old women. There are many people who come here to buy Zuyan Dan from thousands of miles away, and they don't care about money. Spent a lot of money just for beauty. Otherwise, the Wang family would not be able to make plans for their family. By the way, the Wang family. How dare you covet their Zuyan pill? Hao Zhigang felt that this was the only way to feel proud and proud. Zhang Xiaoxiao was also shocked when he saw Hao Zhigang. I had always thought that the man in front of me was an uncle in his 30s, but now I realized that I had really made a mistake. This man shaved his beard, cut his hair, and changed his outfit. I instantly became more than 20 years younger. At first glance, I looked like a young boy of 18 or 19 years old. No wonder the old lady asked people to call her aunt. They really got it right. Eldest nephew, how old are you? Hao Zhigang smiled shyly and said, Auntie, you should still call me by my name. If you are the eldest nephew when you go out, calling me eldest nephew will make me lose face. I am 25 this year. No wonder your family is practicing Zuyan Dan. Look at this boy who looks like a boy of 18 or 19 years old. Zhang Xiaoxiao did not admit that he was suspected of teasing others. Hao Zhigang was so shy that his ears turned red. Auntie, you will go to the auction house with me today. The old lady just stayed in the room with Hao Zhigang for a long time to receive orders. Anyway, their family had one purpose: they must not offend Fan Xiao in front of them. She also claimed to the outside world that she was her aunt. Of course, the old lady did have a granddaughter who disappeared many years ago. Theoretically, this granddaughter is already 30 years old. Age is not a problem in the Hao family. Whoever lets their family refine Zuyan Dan is the one who makes it. You can use the beauty pill as an excuse at any age. You must know that their beauty pill can keep people young forever, and of course, it can also make people age overnight. It depends on how to refine the Zuyan pill. To the outside world, she is Hao Rugjiu, the youngest daughter of the Hao family. Zhang Xiaoxiao is really helpless about this name. Hao Rugjiu, good to go to school. This is Hao eager to learn and progress. Now she wants to live in this place as the daughter of the Hao family and join the Medicine God Association. This name is really shocking. How dare you call the God of Medicine? Who gave me the courage and courage? Shall I go, auction house? She had never heard of an auction house. Later, she heard that auction houses sold antiques, but she had never heard that a medicine could be sold in an auction house. She has participated in several auction house auctions just to watch the excitement. Hao Zhigang saw that his aunt was confused. That's really not something I know. Many people outside do not understand their local conditions. 11. She has the rules of 11 She, which is incompatible with the outside world. Times are progressing, but Zishi has retained many ancient traditions and inheritance. Let's go, I'll show you how much you can sell for your super grade Zuyan Dan. Hao's Higang is such a good person. Originally, he could keep his own hands on how much the Zuyan pill would be sold for, but Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't know at all. Hao's Higang didn't have the final say on the price. Now that this is the case, how could Zhang Xiaoxiao not know? Zhang Xiaoxiao gave Hao's Higang a thumbs up in his heart. The people of the Hao family are of good character. However, she has only been in contact with 2 people so far, an ancestor of the Hao family. A Hao's Higang. The other Hao family members have nothing to do with her. 2 people set off. This time we return to the city. The bustling high-rise buildings and busy traffic seem to be another world. The scooter was parked outside a splendid auction house. Zhang Xiaoxiao took off his helmet and looked at the 3 shining golden characters on it. 1 heart and 1 mind. The name is very charming. Does it mean to do business wholeheartedly? If you don't understand, just pretend to understand. The decoration style here is more than twice as luxurious as the big hotels in Kyoto. This building is 8 stories high. Looking from a distance, the glass curtain wall decorated outside shimmers in the sun, and the facade is very magnificently decorated. In front of the glass door stood 2 rows of pretty girls wearing cheongsam, with slim figures. They were indeed more delicate than flowers. Open the door with a smile to every customer who enters. The 2 of them are obviously out of tune with all this, mainly because the parking lot in front of their house is full of luxury cars. Zhang Xiaoxiao, a person who is not very knowledgeable, can understand when looking at these cars that they are definitely worth a lot of money. The 2 of them had their small motorcycles parked in the corner, looking very shabby. Plus 2 people in this outfit. Even though Hao's Higang had changed into his most decent clothes, he still looked a little shabby and outdated compared to the well-dressed guests who entered in front of the door. Not to mention Zhang Xiaoxiao, her outfit was originally casual and casual according to her wishes. In order not to show off when I came, I even tried to hide my identity. Dress deliberately to look like ordinary people. But when you come here, this outfit obviously makes people feel too shabby. Zhang Xiaoxiao and Hao's Higang looked at each other, and each could see the other's thoughts in the other's eyes. When I come here, I'm afraid I'll have to be watched while I order the food. Hao's Higang gritted his teeth. This was the largest, fairest, and most reasonable auction house in their western market. If you don't come here and take their super-grade Zuyan Dan to other auction houses, the value will probably be reduced by January 5th. This 1/5 is still very important to the current Hao's Higang. Especially at the present stage, which is in the early stages of development, people are poor and have short ambitions. For this 1/5 of the money, I can only be prepared to be angry. 2 people stepped forward. Zhang Xiaoxiao could bear it. For their Lao Song's sake, it's just a matter of being a little angry. We are not afraid. Can bear it. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 827. Chapter 827 Worthless. The 2 people came closer and could smell the fragrant fragrance of the woman wearing a cheongsam in front of them. Slightly sweet with a strong taste of money. It must be top quality. This perfume is worth a lot of money. Zhang Xiaoxiao was waiting for the cold reception and sarcastic words that would come his way. Result. Big reversal. You 2, please come in. Are you here to participate in the auction, or do you want to purchase the needed medicinal materials and elixirs? A beautiful woman in cheongsam blew her breath like orchid and talked in a gentle manner. She not only opened the door for them politely, but also stayed with them all the time. Her attitude was so kind that even Zhang Xiaoxiao was stunned. The master of Yuxinexing is still a capable person. As far as people who have been trained by others are concerned, the service staff below can actually turn a blind eye to their clothes and greet them in a pleasant manner. It can be seen that the boss here is definitely a person of quality and magnanimity. No wonder House Higang wants to come here to sell their elixirs. Perhaps people's trust level here is also very high. We sell medicine. House Higang tried hard not to panic. Even though he was bragging about how great the auction house here was when he dragged Zhang Xiaoxiao outside, in fact he had never been there. Even if the Hao family was not in decline in those years, their Zuyan pills would not be sold here. Besides, their family has never produced any high-quality elixirs. This is my first time here. Has no chance to contact this upper class. The beauty smiled and said, "Hello, sir, what is your surname?" "My surname is He. You can call me Commissioner He. I am responsible for serving you. I would like to know what kind of elixir you want to sell." House Higang was immediately struck by the man's charming smile, and his smile was a little ecstatic. Beauty is naturally worthy of being treated favorably. "Commissioner He, my surname is Hao." "Hao family? Zuyan Dan? Then Mr. Hao sells Zuyan Dan, right?" Helena has information about all the families in West City in her mind. Of course, unless you are a commoner, anyone with some background, even a small family, can get information here. So when I heard that this person's surname was Hao, I immediately took the seat and knew that the secret recipe of this family is Zuyan Dan. But it is said that the Hao family has long been in decline, and the Zuyan pills currently on the market, except for the most common 4th and 5th level Zuyan pills sold by families, are considered fakes developed by someone. The Hao family's level 10 Yanswen Dan has long since disappeared. There are rumors that the Wang family wants to pay a big price to get the secret recipe of Zuyan pill. This person's surname is Hao, and he wants to sell elixirs, so he naturally represents the Hao family. I just don't know if what this person took out is the level 10 beauty pill. House Higang suddenly became energetic. He could tell the details about his family when he opened his mouth. This proved that he was ranked high in their auction house. I thought I was just an unknown person. This feeling of being valued by others immediately boosted House Higang's morale. It is indeed Zuyan Dan. Helena smiled slightly and said, "You too, please come with me." If they purchase elixirs here, they have specialized appraisers. There are 10 small houses in a row, all with maroon wooden doors. Helena knocked on one of them. Then push the door open and enter. There is a simple desk inside, with 2 appraisers behind it. Male appraiser in a suit, and a female assistant who is obviously an assistant. When seeing House Higang and Zhang Xiaoxiao, it was obvious that both of them had disappointed looks on their faces. Looking at the other party's dress, they can probably guess what the other party can get, and it must not be high-end goods. However, in line with the boss's business spirit, the 2 of them restrained their expressions. Very professionally, he signaled Zhang Xiaoxiao and House Higang to sit on the chairs. "You two, what do you want to sell? Be not polite, but definitely not rude and get to the point." House Higang was very satisfied. It was much better than being despised by others as he imagined. This is a business acumen. This is Zuyan Dan. House Higang took out a few bottles. "Put it in front of you." Helena would probably have laughed out loud if she hadn't been so professional. "This is the Zuyan Dan you got. Are you sure it's not a joke? It is black, yellow, and green with purple. A layman like her can tell that it is at most a second-level beauty pill, the kind that failed in practice. This is using their auction house as a garbage dump, throwing everything in it." Helena immediately looked down on House Higang. Even if the Hao family has faded away, they can't just bring out some inferior things here in an attempt to defraud. What is lost is the character. In their western city, almost every household is related to the inheritance of ancient medicine. Ancestors have been here for generations, retaining their traditions, but they respect each other for medicine and medical skills, and they have their own dignity and character. Even if a family is in ruins, it is never allowed to commit suicide or deceive people in medical skills. This will be spurned and despised. How's Higang, is this a broken jar? The appraiser looked at it and looked calm. Having been an appraiser for so many years, I have met a lot of people, and the forest is big and there are all kinds of birds. This is not the first time he has encountered such people, even though they are descendants of the ancient medical field. Furthermore, it can be considered that all the original residents here are families with inheritance. It just depends on whether the inheritance is large or small, ordinary or extraordinary. Just like a human being. Even if a powerful Laozi gives birth to 10 sons, there is no guarantee that every son will be powerful. 10 fingers can be long or short, not to mention that it is difficult for anyone to protect a person's character. So they have seen this drama a lot. Looking at the bottle in front of him, he opened it calmly, smelled the smell inside, and frowned. Take out a pill, take out a knife, and gently scrape some powder from the pill. Then twist it up with your fingers and put it into your mouth, close your eyes and taste it silently. After tasting it, he put the pill back and pushed it in front of Hao's Higang. Second-level beauty-preserving pills are of low quality and have greatly reduced effects. These beauty-preserving pills are, at best, used by people who raise birds and dogs to improve their cats and dogs. The price is not high, only $1 a pill. The answer was pertinent, but Zhang Xiaoxiao blushed. It's so damned that every other line is like a mountain. Look at how inferior your craftsmanship is. The second-grade low-grade Zuyan Dan is not even worthy of being eaten by yourself. I used to think that I was extremely smart, but now I think about it, if I was reborn without a golden finger, I might not be able to do better now than in my previous life. Cleverness seems to be out of reach. Honestly counting on the golden finger to add points. Hao's Higang naturally knew a long time ago that he definitely did not take out these Zuyan pills for the purpose of auctioning them. Even he knew that they were worthless. He just came to try his hand. After all, he himself had never experienced this kind of auction house. Who knew the qualifications of the appraisers inside? At least this bottle of medicine was just to test the water. Let's see if the other person has the ability and vision. Now it seems that he is really qualified. It seems that Yi Xin Seeing is really worthy of its reputation, with a large number of talented people, so I'd better stop thinking about it as soon as possible. Otherwise, you will suffer a big loss. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 828. Chapter 828 VIP Room. Helena smiled politely and said, Mr. Hao, since the appraisal has been completed, you can follow me to go through the formalities. That means you can leave. Helping people out very tactfully. Hao's Higang coughed. He really couldn't blame others for his treatment. Maid. Zhang Xiaoxiao smiled, reached out and took out a bottle of Zuyan Dan and put it on the table. Hello, would you like to estimate the price of this bottle of Zuyan Dan? They come to do business. No time to waste. The sooner the Hao family makes money, the sooner they can take care of their own affairs. The appraiser took the bottle absent-mindedly at first. I really don't have much expectations, judging from what these two people just brought out. Even though this bottle contains a very good beauty elixir, it is probably only level 4 or 5 at most. The two people in front of me can tell from their age and clothing that they come from poor families. Even if they are heirs of an ancient medicine family, they are probably heirs with low qualifications. Can't come up with anything good. Opening the bottle, the appraiser smelled a refreshing fragrance. Be refreshed. His eyes became serious, and the assistant next to him who was just watching the fun also became serious in an instant. They have professional ethics. Quickly repeated the last action, but it was obviously a little lighter than the last time when holding the knife. Helena took a deep look at Hao's Higang and the girl in front of her. Who is this Hao family? You still play like this? Are you worried that they will do their best? It's really interesting. Han could not help but look sideways at Hao's Higang. Hao's Higang held his breath. His great-grandmother said it was a super-grade beauty-preserving pill. But he couldn't believe it. Super-grade Zuyan Dan is something that the Hao family has not been able to produce for several generations. This is an ancient recipe. To be able to make the best Zuyan Dan is already exhausting the family's efforts. Is it super high quality now? He still used 10,000 years Snow Lotus, but he still felt a little guilty. There is a suspicion of fraud. Who doesn't know that the only medicinal ingredient used in the super-grade Zuyan Dan is 100,000-year-old Snow Lotus? The 10,000-year-old Snow Lotus already costs 500,000 yuan. 100,000-year-old Snow Lotus, you can think about the price. There is still a price but no market. He himself didn't believe it. The appraiser put the powder into the machine and stared at the machine with a red face. Zhang Xiaoxiao wondered. Just now he tasted it with his tongue and knew the result. This time he actually asked for a machine. She has never seen this machine before. Is it not from the ancient medical field? Still using modern machines. It seems that these successors in the ancient medical field are not resting on their laurels. They have accepted a lot of advanced cultural integration, and machine identification is indeed more accurate. Beep. Helena and the appraiser both opened their eyes wide. Super-grade, Zuyan Dan. Helena exclaimed, impossible. In the long history of the past, it was not difficult for the ancient medical community to produce super-quality elixirs over the years. There have been many brilliant figures in the inheritance, and the super-grade elixirs at that time astonished the whole world. How many emperors will flock to each other and want to buy super-quality elixirs from them? This kind of elixir is simply worth $1,000. However, with the change of dynasties, their inheritance of ancient medicine gradually began to decline. Super-grade elixirs are difficult to find because of the medicinal materials. No one has made one in nearly 300 years. No one has ever heard of anyone being able to make superior elixirs. Is there a super-quality elixir now? The appraiser nodded in surprise. It's top quality. It must be. This answer obviously woke up Helena. This is not something that a little receptionist like her can make the decision about. The Hao family is about to turn over. Helena immediately bowed, a 90-degree bow. Mr. Hao, please go to the VIP room with me and wait a moment. I'll ask our general manager to come and talk to you about the auction. This place can no longer satisfy Hao's Higang and his colleagues. Hao's Higang showed a reserved smile. Okay. He was almost beaming with joy. If his great-grandmother had not taught him for many years, he would have wanted to jump up and cheer. It's really superb. Stand it up respectfully, Auntie, please come first. In an instant, Zhang Xiaoxiao became taller and taller. Helena's eyes changed when she looked at Zhang Xiaoxiao. Aunt. Such a young aunt is still an elder of the Hao family, so it's no wonder that she can get the super-grade Zuyan pill. She said, how could the Hao family send a junior to take care of such a thing? The eyes are full of respect. Ms. Hao, please. Zhang Xiaoxiao pretended to be calm and followed him away. Damn it, Hao's Higang is using himself as a gunman. At this moment, I remembered that she was an elder. Hao's Higang proudly showed his teeth behind Zhang Xiaoxiao. I can't run away this time. Everyone in the world must know that Fan Xiao is the daughter of his Hao family. Of course, Zhang Xiaoxiao allowed this. After all, she wanted to enter the Medicine God Association in the name of the Hao family. If she didn't pretend to be the daughter of the Hao family, they would never allow her to enter the Medicine God Association. This is a win-win situation. But the old lady talked to Hao's Higang privately, and the two of them agreed that Zhang Xiaoxiao must be tied to their boat. So the fact that Zhang Xiaoxiao is the daughter of the Hao family must be confirmed. Anyway, the great-grandmother did have a granddaughter before, and that granddaughter has been missing for many years. He treated Zhang Xiaoxiao as his elder in such a big way, of course, just to let outsiders see that this was really the daughter of their Hao family. Even if Zhang Xiaoxiao wanted to distance himself from the Hao family in the future, it would be impossible. The old lady had unique vision and made it very clear. Maybe the Hao family's fate for hundreds of years has come. The woman in front of me is a noble member of their Hao family. In the past, they only wanted to repay their kindness, thinking that whenever outsiders came here to ask them to repay their kindness, it was just to ask for medicine. But now I realize that this is not repaying a favor to oneself, it is clearly someone else who has a favor to them. And they couldn't even repay the kindness this time. VIP room. As soon as Zhang Xiaoxiao and Hao Ji entered, a waiter immediately served exquisite refreshments, which were really exquisite. Jinjunmiai with a mellow taste, various sweet and glutinous pastries. There are also exquisitely arranged fruit plates, even towels for wiping your hands, and lemonade for washing your hands. The waiters throughout the entire process are kneeling down to serve. Zhang Xiaoxiao felt a little uncomfortable. Kneeling down to serve was really strange psychologically. There is a kind of pride of superiority growing. Zhang Xiaoxiao was secretly vigilant. It seemed that he had to guard against being corrupted by the class concepts enjoyed by these old dignitaries. There is no other way, people are all mortals, and it is easy to accept this kind of luxurious enjoyment. Hao Zhigang breathed a sigh of relief when he saw no one was there. He leaned on the leather sofa, took a sip of tea, picked up a piece of snack and threw it into his mouth. These people really know how to enjoy it. I never enjoyed it like this when my family was rich. The VIP room really deserves its name. Now I didn't expect that he would one day enjoy this treatment. The door was suddenly pushed open. Who are you? How can you be in the VIP room so casually? 5 security guards wearing security uniforms appeared to protect Fatty Zhang. They were the ones sneaking into the VIP room, I saw it with my own eyes. There are rules for one's heart and one's heart. Not everyone can enter the VIP room casually. What is needed is a special VIP card from Yishinyang. Obviously Zhang Xiaoxiao, Hao Zhigang, and the others did not show it just now. Fatty Zhang could see clearly. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 829. Chapter 829. Who let you in? Hao Zhigang put down his arms, looked at the person coming, and frowned. Who let you in? Zhang Xiaoxiao continued to drink tea calmly. Fatty Zhang is obviously looking for trouble. It seems that the Zhang family must find a way to kill him. I heard that the Zhang family is one of the 8 great medical families. Even those at the bottom are the 8 great families. Fatty Zhang has been seeking death endlessly, not to mention stealing someone's girlfriend. Now it would be too unkind to continue to trample people to death. Looking at Fatty Zhang, you can tell that the Zhang family is no better. Birds of a feather flock together. Please show your VIP card, otherwise we will kick you out. Ordinary people are not allowed in here. This is a place specially designed to entertain our VIP guests. Not just any cat or dog can come. To put it bluntly, the leading security captain was Fatty Zhang's cousin. Of course, he was not lucky enough to get close to Zhang Shaija. How about he come to work as a security guard? It's not like seeing Fatty Zhang now favored by Zhang Shaija, it's natural for me to fawn over him. Just a little bit of leakage from Zhang Shaija's hands is enough to make the poor people soar into the sky. I didn't see Fatty Zhang turning into a phoenix. This time Fatty John came to him and said that he saw a poor man dare to sneak into their VIP room with someone, so naturally he couldn't just sit back and watch. First, because he is the security captain and this is his duty. If someone is found to have broken into the VIP room, they will really die. The second reason is because I want to hug my thighs. No matter who you are, either take out the VIP card now, or I can only arrest you too. Before things get too big, if you know what is going on, leave quickly. I can still be lenient. If you it's boring, so don't blame me for being ruthless. No one in Western market dares to act recklessly in Xi and seeing hang. If you are caught, you will die or lose your skin. You guys are in the wrong place. Security Captain Zhang Daqiang thought to himself, at such a young age, he knew that Fatty Zhang was not talking nonsense. No matter what the reason was, Fatty Zhang also helped him a lot. Hao Zhigang was very happy. Go and call your commissioner named He. She brought us to the VIP room. Why is it so fun to play with us now? Your staff invited us in this VIP room. I couldn't help but wonder, could it be that Yi Xingxing wanted to use some means to swallow their top quality beauty pills? That's how plunder is done. You two lied without drafting. Do you know that in Yi Xing's VIP room, not just anyone can get the VIP card? These two people just stole 10 of my $10 from me a few days ago. 10,000 years of Snow Lotus. Why do you have the right to invite you to the VIP room? Because of your big face. Fatty Zhang sneered. He felt very unhappy when he saw Hao Zhigang and Zhang Xiaoxiao. This feud has been forged. At the beginning, he just robbed Hao Zhigang's woman, and he didn't feel anything bad at that time. A poor guy still wants to argue with himself, but his woman loves vanity and money and throws herself at him. Who can blame him? It's not my fault that I don't have the ability to keep my woman. At the beginning of the question, he just wanted to tease Hao Zhigang a little. But I didn't expect that what I encountered later in the drugstore would be different. I cheated myself out of 100,000 yuan in vain. You must know that after he returned, he was scolded by his elder brother. Because of this, his elder brother stopped his position and directly promoted him from the branch director of Zhangjia Hospital to a warehouse director below. How rich is the money in the hands of the director of the branch hospital? He can make tens of thousands in the hospital every month, which is a lot. It is necessary to know how many patients there are in the world. Those who want to come to see a doctor in their West Market are all wealthy people. The hospital here has been monopolized by 8 major families. And the Zhang family was not allocated much land. The Zhang family's privileges in Zixi were limited to opening up to 10 hospitals in the first-level cities all the way down to the lower counties and cities. And his branch is in the West City, and the benefits it gets from these patients alone are 20,000 to 30,000 yuan, and that is only what can be seen in the books. No one knows about those things that can't be seen on the books, but now it's a good thing that I have been directly promoted to the warehouse director. How much money can a warehouse director get? The current income has fallen off a cliff. My own benefits are now gone. Now that I see the 2 culprits in front of me who have caused such harm to me, I can still forgive them lightly. Hao Zhigang glared, Fat Zhang, what you said is so unethical. Who cheated you out of $100,000? That's what you were willing to admit defeat and lose to me. You said it yourself at the time. I want to really pay for it. 1,000-year-old Snow Lotus, you pay me 10 times. This is what you said yourself. You are a man, so don't babble here. Fatty Zhang in front of him has put a big cuckold on himself. He has not yet avenged this revenge, but the other party is still looking for trouble for him. So blind. It's not just because you have no money. It is true that people are poor and have short ambitions. No matter what, sir, please show your VIP card. If you don't have a VIP card, please leave now. This is our rule. The VIP room must be entered with a VIP card, otherwise you will not be qualified to be here. Fatty John was already angry and secretly winked at his own people. If you don't kill House Higang, if you don't make House Higang lose face today, you won't be a fat man. He just called his men and asked those people to guard the door. As soon as House Higang acted out of his mind, he would be punished severely by House Higang. It would be a disgrace to oneself if he did not send him into a disability. How dare you cheat on his own 100,000 yuan of medicinal materials? If you don't let him spit it out today, he won't know that his surname is Zhang. What happened? The security captain was startled when he heard this voice. This was their general manager. Salute immediately. General Manager Feng, 2 people have broken into the VIP room now. I am preparing to drive them out so as not to disturb other VIPs. General Manager Feng was furious. The old man of the Feng family has already retreated to the second line on weekdays. He rarely visits the store to inspect business. Basically, all the business in his hands is handed over to his 3 grandsons. General Manager Feng is the old man's youngest grandson. Today, the old man suddenly became interested and wanted to inspect the store, so General Manager Feng specially accompanied the old man to check around. He did not expect to encounter such a thing here. I don't know what the security guards do for a living, but they actually allow these people to break into the VIP room directly. You must know that there is a big difference between a VIP room and an ordinary reception room. They are not on the same floor at all. The concept of receiving people here is not based on wealth or wealth. Without a certain status, you cannot enter this VIP room. As a result, my grandfather finally came out for a trip and encountered this kind of thing. Isn't this my own dereliction of duty? He glared at the security captain fiercely. Invite people out politely, don't hurt them, and don't make things worse. Captain Zhang was sweating coldly, and General Manager Feng had a bad look in his eyes. End of this chapter. The lucky bag is reborn with space. Author, Floating World. Chapter 830. Chapter 830. Don't believe it? Captain Zhang turned his head and showed a fake smile. The smile was so fake. You two, please get out. The general manager has spoken, so of course he can't take action against these people, but he must ask these 2 people out today, otherwise General Manager Feng and Mr. Feng will be watching, and he, the security captain, will not be able to do anything. Zhang Xiaoxiao stretched his waist and stood up as expected. Feng's Higang, let's go. Since they don't welcome us, let's go to Beiyu Tower opposite. Beiyulo is also a Zishi auction house. Zhang Xiaoxiao was very strange when he came in. I have never seen people doing business door to door. Isn't this an obvious attempt to grab business? Later, Feng's Higang actually explained to her in detail that Beiyu Tower and Yi Xianxing were sworn enemies. As long as there is a place with good intentions, there will definitely be a Beiyu Tower. Both are auction houses. And there are big families with strong financial support behind them. So the competition was life and death, extremely fierce. But Yi Xianxing has a better reputation. It is said that the old man of the Feng family has been doing good deeds for many years. It should be said that the Feng family has been kind to people for generations and has formed many good relationships. It is because of the reputation of the Feng family that Yi Xianxing is firmly at the top of the industry. But this does not mean that one can monopolize this industry. House Higang jumped up and said, "You look down on others. It was your service staff who invited us in respectfully. But you actually kicked us out now. There will be times when you will regret it. Laozi supergrade Yanzuden doesn't have to be auctioned by you all. Without you all, I would not be able to have a hot meal. And, let's go." Mr. Feng glanced sideways at General Manager Feng. General Manager Feng thought he had misheard. Super quality beauty elixir? Impossible. I haven't seen anything like this in hundreds of years, it's something from legend. But the look in my grandpa's eyes made me understand that if I didn't ask, it would definitely make the old man feel uncomfortable. The old man was worried that his sister was born with an ugly appearance, so he often bought Zuyan pills from the Hao family. Unfortunately, the effectiveness of the Zuyan pills had reached its bottleneck. Although my sister's appearance is considered average to that of Xiaojiabiu, it is well known that once she stops taking the beauty pill, her appearance will regress. Just like girls using makeup, one day after you wash off the makeup, it will definitely scare you to death at home. The problem with the Hao family is that they are in decline. Except for the Hao family, the Zuyan pills made by other families are really uneven, and their effects are also greatly reduced. I didn't expect to hear about Zuyan Dan here. It's only natural that the old man would be interested in it. Feng Jin stopped Hao Zhigang with a smile. No one glanced at Zhang Xiaoxiao. Hao Zhigang looked unhappy. What are you doing? Do you still want to detain me? If the Feng family really does this, it will bring disgrace to the Feng family, and I'm afraid the Feng family will be a bad sight on the streets in the future. The Feng family's centuries-old reputation was thrown into the ground and rubbed against the ground. The Feng family would never do this. Little brother, don't be so angry. Let's talk about it if you have anything to say. Come on, come on. If there is any misunderstanding, let's clear it up. Hooking Hao Zhigang, he walked into the VIP room again. Hao Zhigang did not move. General Manager Feng, your people are trying to kick me out now, but you are turning around and trying to pull me in. What are you doing by going back on your word? Why do you think our Hao family is easy to bully now that we have lost, yes or no? There is no need to leave me here, I have my own place to stay. I don't have the dignity to walk in, your Feng family's Yuxinexing, and I can't even leave. Hao Zhigang is really popular. The reason why I was bullied by others in the past was because the Hao family was defeated, but now that I have this super-grade Zuyan pill in my hand, I am full of confidence. If he is still being bullied now, it is because Hao Zhigang himself is incompetent. As soon as Hao Zhigang shouted, Fatty Zhang appeared. Mr. Feng, don't be deceived by this Hao Zhigang. He is full of lies. He just defrauded me of 100,000 yuan a few days ago, and I caught him again today. This man is scheming and narrow-minded. The most important thing is bad character. Slanderous words come at random. Hao Zhigang was really angry, and he was really angry after being provoked by Fatty Zhang. Without saying a word, he went up and kicked him. Fatty Zhang was a short man, so he kicked him in the face. You will see blood immediately. The nose and mouth were bleeding. Fatty Zhang touched his face, and his eyes burned. Hao Zhigang, you are looking for death and dare to hit me, even the King of Heaven, and I will not be able to protect you this time. When Mr. Feng saw Hao Zhigang's virtue, he became even more unconvinced about Kaip and Zuyan Dan. Can such a person have it in his hands? Only ghosts believe it. Probably just deceiving myself. Frowning slightly, he stepped aside. His body language showed that he didn't want to interfere. Being nosy was obviously not suitable for Mr. Feng. Fatty Zhang shouted to the security captain, "Boy, are you blind? Beat him. If he is beaten to death today, it will be mine." That's really angry. The security captain is in a dilemma. His boss is right in front of him. They have rules to follow. They can't do anything casually here. Even if they fight you to death outside, they can't do it here. Mr. Feng. He was the one who made the move first. Don't you think it's reasonable to do what you want? Fatty Zhang hasn't lost his mind yet, they can't afford to offend the Feng family. In the eyes of the Feng family, the Zhang family is just food. You have to go out. You are not allowed to fight here. Mr. Hao, this is your fault. I can't protect you. Mr. Feng said with a smile. Hold your s. Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't see where the protection was. Mr. Feng, is this how you do business in Yexi? And seeing, I'm very ignorant, it's true that it's better to meet someone than to be famous. Zhang Xiaoxiao could tell that if they went out through this door now, Fatty Zhang would probably not hold back, and Hao Zhigang would suffer a loss today. If you can think of a way to fight without killing people by yourself, you won't be able to defeat more people. If a few practitioners come, you will have to take a break. Homicide. That won't work. As soon as these words came out, everyone noticed the girl in front of them. Mr. Feng smiled lightly. Seeing that the girl was young, her tone of voice was not small. Unfortunately, in Zishi, she relied on her strength to speak. Oh. This girl has a very strong tone, but obviously your friend has been through this door, so I wonder if he can still have all his hair and tail. Mr. Feng is so shrewd, how could he not see it? Of course he deliberately forced them. Once they were made things difficult for them, it would be even more valuable for the Feng family to take action. This is called providing help in times of need, and it is also a way to control the Hao family. Zhang Xiaoxiao sighed inwardly. He didn't even have a trump card to show, and he was also angry. I am going to take out Yan Dan and look at the face of the super pin. At least Feng will not stand by. But obviously Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't have time. Because Hao Zhigang, a man seeking death, actually grabbed Fatty Zhang and walked out directly, leaving no room for relaxation for her aunt. As soon as you get out of the door. Facing more than 30 men with sticks in their hands, Hao Zhigang relaxed his fingers and said, You want, to defeat more with less. I stuttered without seeing it. Fatty Zhang was adjusting the collar of his clothes at the moment. Patting Hao Zhigang's face with one hand, Boy, how about defeating more with less? How about you beat me? I've been waiting for this day. Give them all to me. If you beat me, I will be disabled. Remember not to beat me to death. Take a breath, I want this kid to take a good look at how I play with him. Fatty Zhang turned around and walked aside to watch the show. End of this chapter.